Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through my permanent food plot screen. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, what I'm planting, and a couple things to keep in mind along with a permanent food plot screen. So right now we're out in the pasture, the old pasture on our 20 acres, and right behind the camera, this pasture just continues onto my neighbor's land. So it's wide open. And as I said, behind us is where the food is going, so I want to create a barrier between myself and the neighbor here. They have some side-by-side trails over here. They're actually a very nice retired couple, but I still just want to create that visual and sound barrier between my land and the neighbors. I'm planting our white spruce trees. These grow really well up here. There's a couple reasons why I chose white spruce as my permanent plot screen and not something else. The reason why I wanted to do white spruce is because number one, they have cover all the way to the ground. So as they mature over time, they keep foliated branches all the way down. The needles go all the way to the ground. When you look at some of the red pine, white pine, other types of conifer trees, they'll actually start to drop branches and needles from the bottom up as they mature over time, and it actually gets open again underneath them. The other really important reason why I chose white spruce is, at least in this area where I'm at in Minnesota, deer don't browse these, which is really important because we're going to have it next to a food plot. There's going to be high concentrations of deer out here all the time. And I don't want to have to cage or bud cap each one of these. I want to be able to just plant these and forget them. So I think in really harsh conditions, I know like in some places in North Dakota when the winters get really hard, I have witnessed deer browse on spruce, but it's very rare. And at least around here, I've never seen deer browse these things with any type of meaningful impact, even during harsh winters. But white pine, for example, deer love white pine. They're going to browse those any chance they can get. Red pine are a little less preferred than the white pine, but they'll still browse those pretty hard and kill the tree during the winter time when food is not as available. So I'm gonna get a couple of these in the ground and show you guys what I'm doing. Hey guys, just a couple things to keep in mind when you're planting these conifer trees. A lot of this will apply to any trees you're planting. I guess the first off, you can see I'm using a shovel today, just a spade shovel. They actually make tree spades that are better for this. They have a longer shank, but the key is just making sure that the roots are pointing straight down. If you J-root your trees, it's kind of common sense, but that's going to be really bad for the tree. It's not going to grow. That's a huge no-no. So if some of these spruce trees, I'm going to take them out really quick because that's the other thing I'll talk about. These roots can dry out really easy. Real quick, these are the spruce seedlings. You want to keep these roots damp. If some of them are too long, you can see some of these roots get really long. If they have a tendency to J-root on you, you can actually or just trim these real long roots. It's not going to kill the tree. It's not going to hurt it. I'm going to put these back in the bag right now because I don't want these roots to dry out. You can see I'm keeping them in this black trash bag. This is how my bundle of trees from the county when I picked them up. That's really important. If you're out here planting these trees, you got to keep the roots damp. Do not let them dry out because that's going to kill these little seedlings too. The other thing we should talk about here is when you dig your hole, you want to make sure that there's no air pockets down here in the bottom of it. When I open this up, I want to try to keep the shape of this hole nice and firm. We're going to take this clod of soil and just place it right back in the way that the soil came out so that we prevent air pockets down in here. If you end up with air pockets around your tree roots, they're going to dry out and die. So I'm kind of preserving this mat clump here, and then I'm preserving this hole. I'm just quickly getting these trees, I'm just quickly grabbing them and putting them in here and getting this soil back on top of them, and then I firmly heel that material back in around the tree. Okay, the other thing I'm doing is I'm actually planting 2 of these spruce trees at a time in each hole, which you don't have to do. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm going for volume out here. I'm not going for the prettiest screening effort. I just want mass volume of branches, of cover. All I want is that visual barrier. And so if I can get 2 trees in the ground in each one, you know, we will have some failure along here. Some of these trees won't make it. It's real hot out here and sunny in the summertime. It's under full direct sunlight. So, you know, that way if I lose one, I still got the other one. And if they both make it, then there's just that many more branches and that much more cover. I'm still planting these and spacing them far enough apart to where, at least for the next 10 to 15 years, these branches are going to have plenty of room to go sideways out here. And it's just something that, you know, I think is kind of a nice way to go if you're trying to get that really thick permanent conifer plot screen. It's a good way to go. You know, we're not doing this in our front yard. This isn't our mother-in-law's house that we're trying to make look real nice, right? This is just an old food plot out in the woods. And so I'm going for mass cover and you know, as thick of a wall as I can get out here. The other thing that you should think about if you're going to be planting conifer trees is the timing. So, you know, obviously we have to plant these when the tree is dormant. We don't want to do this in the middle of summer during the growing season. You'll have very, very little luck with the tree surviving in those cases. So right now it's the very tail end of April here in Minnesota. The frost is just letting out of the ground, and the frost is out right here where I'm digging. And so this is the perfect time. Everything's dormant. And I also planted right before a big rain, and I'm actually between rain showers right now. So I'm trying to get the rest of these trees in, but this is just perfectly timed. A nice saturating rain in the soil right after I plant these seedlings, because this is extremely traumatic for these trees and I don't want these roots to dry out. That's the whole key here. Keeping them damp in this bag and then getting them in the ground right before a big saturating rain is just, I timed this just perfectly. So, and that's what you guys want to do if you're thinking about planting conifer trees or any kind of trees for that matter. Keeping those roots damp and giving these trees a good chance at surviving here.